So I wanted to make this video because I've actually been, traveling a bit recently. I was in France over the weekend skiing and, just doing more stuff, right? And I've got myself now in a pretty good spot, money-wise, time-wise, freedom-wise, all the things that we all want when we start this journey. And I was thinking about sales and the people that I speak to. I've done probably over 1,000 calls now for Imperium. And the thing that really sort of stuck with me is I speak to a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but they haven't done anything before trying to build the business. And what I mean by that is like, the more life experience you get, the more you can understand the person that you're going to speak to, the better you will sell. Now, let me explain. Me, myself, I've done the years working in a cafe. I've done the years without making any money. I tried to scale the agency. I've done the agency thing. I've worked in a gym. I've been broke. I've done all that stuff. I've been sad and I've been in a tough spot. And I've also been financially free and making 10, 15K per month consistently and doing the things people want to do and going to masterminds and networking and traveling the world and being in France and going skiing and all these things, moving to Spain and Berlin. And I've really now realized that when I speak to these people, I can not only relate to them on their current situation because I've been there, but I can also relate to where they want to get to. And I can almost be the proof that it is possible that they want to get there and how they can get there. And in sales, in my opinion, and I've learned this a lot from people and heard it, and it's not so much about what you say, it's how you say it. So when I deliver questions around the current situation, I can feel that because I've been there. And when I ask questions why it's important for them to get where they want to go, I feel that and I can say that with conviction because I've now been there and know why I wanted to do it and how it feels to get there. Obviously, I've got much longer visions as well, but this is what I'm trying to get at. If you're someone right now who's trying to scale a business or wants to get into sales, high ticket closing, whatever it is, and you are struggling to find the thing or you can't get the money, go do other things. Go work a shitty job. I speak to people all the time and it's like, making no money. I want to get to 50K, but I don't want to work a job. It's like, what do you mean? You want to build the business, but you're not a business owner yet. You're not going to be able to sell to business owners who are struggling until you've struggled working in a business. You're going to have enough time to do both. If you're not making any money right now, or you want to be a closer, whatever it is, you don't have the job, you don't need to spend 8 hours a day on the thing. What you really need to do, in my opinion, is get other life experiences. Go work 4 hours a day in a cafe, or work 3 days a week, or at McDonald's, or cleaning cars, or whatever it is, because you're going to learn about business. You're going to learn how it feels to be that person. And then eventually, if you put the work in on the side and you grow the thing, or you get a sales role, or whatever it is, you're going to have more ability to relate to the people, and the words that you say are going to carry so much more weight because you felt those things. And then once you get to the point where you are in that situation and you speak to someone who wants to improve their life, you can ask them why with real conviction and understand what they want, and then you can dig deeper into the desires because they're the things that you've gotten, and you will be able to see things that they cannot see themselves. I'm having a really good month, and I've had a few really good months, and I've been consistent a lot more recently. And the better I get at sales is because the more things I've done in my life outside of it. Obviously, the training is important, putting in the work and working long days is important. But what's more important is developing as an individual. And the only way to do that is by actively seeking out things. It doesn't even really matter what it is. Because if you're just going to go to university, get a degree, try and build a business on the side or become a closer, how are you going to relate to a business owner? You're not going to understand what they go through, how they have to make payroll, how they have to show up on time and have employees if you've never been an employee. Working at McDonald's, understanding how that business works is going to provide you so much more value than just trying to sit in your room and build an agency and not getting any results. Because again, you're going to be able to relate to the business owners because that's who you're selling to at the end of the day. You're going to be selling to business people, and you need to understand what it feels like to be a part of a machine. And then once you get there, you're going to carry so much more leverage. In objection handling, I can ask the question, honestly, how much longer do you want to wait to be in your current situation? Do you want to wait another year? Because I remember how it felt to go more than a year, 2 years, to be in a situation that I hated. And then I can take it to the future and say, how good would it feel to be doing what you want to do, to be traveling the world, to be financially free? Because I know how good it feels. My words carry way more leverage and so much more weight when I say them, because I can relate to people in multiple areas because I've been through a journey. Obviously, when I speak to people much more successful, it's a little bit of a harder thing because I can't relate so much, but you can overcome that with process. But most of the time, you're either going to be speaking to someone who's in the same situation or just a little bit ahead. You know, if you're just starting a journey, it's unlikely you're going to be speaking to a massive $1 million a year entrepreneur plus, right? So you just have to start somewhere. And the only way you're going to start somewhere is if you start doing the things to get your foot in the door. Knock on someone's door and offer to clean their driveway. Like, this is the thing that I feel like is maybe a problem with the YouTube space now. It's like promising all these big things to people that didn't do the work that the person who is successful did to get where they are. You know, the people we see, the Eman Gadgis, the Charlie Morgans, the Joel Kaplans, the Alex Mosies, they did so much stuff before they were the person they are now that most people are not doing because they see the end result and are trying to get there first. Take it all the way back to the beginning and start from there. Because let's be honest, in business, all it really is selling. You just have to sell something to someone consistently. So you're gonna have to understand sales to a degree to be successful. Let's be honest. And the more you can relate to the people you speak to, the better. If you want to build an agency for car detailers or med spas or real estate agents or hospitality, pick your niche and then go work in the niche for a while. Understand their problems, understand their machine, and then you'll be able to sell to them better. And that, I think, is really important. And you'll just have more experience. Because if you sit in your room for 5 years trying to build a business and it doesn't work, you have experience, but you've only got experience as an agency owner. So, I mean, you could sell to agencies who are struggling, but you're also a struggling agency. So why would they buy from you? So take it all the way back. Solve smaller problems. Get more experience in smaller things before you look to the $10 million goal. Because the $10 million goal is only going to come by you developing your skills and your perspective. And it all comes down to sales, in my opinion. You have to be able to sell. The better you'll be in sales is the better you can understand the prospect. If you have a product that can help them, the only thing that's stopping you from closing is you're not understanding them and what you need to sell to them. Because if it was absolutely what they needed, they would bite your fingers off to get it and they would move mountains to do it. But I think a lot of agencies try and sell what they want to sell to businesses that maybe don't really need it because they don't understand because they've never been in that business. Like, I started an agency in an IV and HRT clinics. I have no idea how those businesses run. It was just an idea that I had because I thought it was a good niche. But now I'm like, oh my God, I was so stupid. Now I would honestly, and obviously I'm in a different position now, but if I was going to go back in time, my parents owned a cafe. I worked in hospitality for 7 years. I'd go start an agency for cafes. I would have made a killing, but I was looking too far ahead and I wasn't thinking about what are the skills I have right now. You just need to get some skills, just get a few. And it really starts with something simple. I learned a lot of things from working at the cafe. I learned how to speak to older people, I learned how to hold a conversation. I learned how to manage my time. I learned how to manage people. I learned how to, perform under pressure and direct people when things were going sideways and shit was hitting the fan. All skills. At the time, I didn't realize they were skills, but now looking back on it, I really, really appreciate the things I learned. And hopefully my dad never sees this because he would always say, you're going to learn more at the shop than you ever learn at university. I studied finance at one of the better universities in Western Australia. I learned way more from the general store than I did there about real business. And that's a fact. So if you've been trying to scale the agency for a year and your niche, you feel like the niche isn't working or whatever it is, or you want to be a high ticket closer, anything, go get a job at the lowest point in an industry adjacent area, learn the business, learn the skills, and then tackle the bigger thing and become a business owner. Look, you might not agree with this and you might think I'm wrong. That's totally fine. That's just kind of how I feel. And I think it makes sense, when I think about it. So yeah, it's all about starting small because big goals are achieved by small steps. And that's something I've really learned recently. The financial freedom and the traveling and being in the French Alps over the weekend, it's all great. But the better thing is when I went home and was able to speak to people older than me and hold a table's attention of, I grew up in a pretty wealthy area, right? And I was sitting at a table speaking with guys who've made $100 million selling companies, and I was holding the table's attention because I have a skill set to offer them now. And they find that interesting because they don't know high ticket sales like we do. It's a different time. They're all in their 70s now. They're all kind of retired. And they were interested in learning from me, 26 years old, because I have a skill set to offer them. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was going to do it all over again. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.